Every haunted city should quite naturally have its own haunted castle, hospital, or some kind of institution where spirits have gathered in a collective eternity. Just several minutes driving beyond Savannah's ghostly mainland, one encounters such a place, Oatland Island, and moreover, the Oatland Island Wildlife Center, which for paranormal investigators and visitors has proven to be a treasure trove of paranormal activity. For those knowing nothing of the place, the moment one turns up its long, lushly wooded drive, one begins to notice an array of animal pens coupled by brick and metal buildings that feel all at once a combination of scientific and vintage military base, which is a part of Oatland's lure and lore. One might call it a haunted masterpiece, but with a dash of Area 51. No aliens in the garage per se, but a history of cloaked medical and chemical experiments under the Department of Defense that adds to the place's curiosity. As much as Oatland deserves description, it also defies it. There's so much to this unassuming place tucked away in the marsh that it's hard to describe it to oneself, let alone strangers. And in some sense, even those who know it appear to lack certainty about details concerning its seemingly clandestine past. Oatland is a true dichotomy of the known and the unknown, the living and the non-living. What is known is that the main haunted hall was built in 1927 for retired railroad workers. One can easily tell from the architectural details that the railroad spared no expense for these old pioneers. It may have been the fanciest quarters that many of these men had ever known. A fitting retirement surrounding for such rugged men, removed away from the hustle of the nearby city in a pristine natural surrounding, yet perfectly situated near the rails of the Tybreeza Railway. No doubt the familiar track sounds soothed their pangs for the life gone by and played to their favorite memories of that iron horse world now behind them. Very little of the railway days survives, less its shell, the main building, an impressive 50,000 square feet. Perhaps the room which is most intact with their chapter is the old banquet or ballroom. The room is replete with massive, overwhelming wood paneling, and all centered around a humongous stone fireplace. It's not hard to imagine these men sitting around the fire, reminiscing about their times on the rails. The room also echoes with the sensations of their dinners, dances, awards ceremonies, speeches, and the shrills of family visits. These were the happier times of early Oatland. However, the building's mood shifts as one moves up to the second floor. What was the demeanor of the old railwaymen swapping genteel tales becomes replaced with corridors that have the feeling of human apocalypse. Aging x-ray rooms and rustic laboratories with crumbling paint and plaster, strange lab equipment and random chrome gurneys with black leather mattresses. Suddenly there is nothing pleasant about Oatland, all the good feeling gone in one flight of stairs. It's like stepping into a building's nightmare. The disturbance began in the 1940s, when Oatland became a hospital for women and children with syphilis. Our country was enduring pandemic levels of the disease. Thousands were going about their lives having no idea what was turning them into human monsters. It would not have been unusual in Oatland's halls, let alone the city's streets, to walk by people deformed by the disease, their skin a shade of color just one short of the grave. Thus far, there was only one recovered patient memoir of a woman still living here in Georgia. She was all of 6 years of age while here with her mother. Her memoir serves as a powerful template for the stories of many who suffered. Through her eyes, we learned that it was care, but it was a place where the relief of being cared for could not outweigh or soften the sights and sounds of round-the-clock horrors. Stillborn children and those with irreversible birth defects, mothers and daughters stacked together in bunk beds, awakened every few hours for painful penicillin injections, iron lungs with unconscious children lying in wait for death. There was little reprieve or surcease for those in these rooms, and it still hangs here in the psychic ether as if it were just minutes ago. In the end result, there is no shortage of paranormal record. Investigators and hobbyists alike have pulled a wide range of anomalies from her memory banks. Eerie EVP recordings of the halls filled with moans of agony, sounds of a surgical attendant crying warnings out to their fellow staff as they conduct a procedure on a male patient. The building also seems to have a propensity for what has been dubbed the talking doors. There is untampered video of Q&A sessions with the dead where something is communicating with investigators by using doors to talk back like a telegraph device. Your narrator, in fact, and one other in the same instance, witnessed a young girl with dark hair, no more than 6 or 7 years of age, in a hospital gown, walk out from a room 50 feet away, simply standing there looking curiously at us, and then turn back into the room from whence she came. One theory of Oatland's activity lies in the view that the place has been going through a healing period, and that there is a kind of psychic exfoliation occurring, and the phenomenon that people are encountering is what we might liken to waste leaving the body. These days at Oatland, brightly colored school buses arrive each day full of teachers and children eager to see the owls, eagles, wolves, panthers, bison, bear, possums, snakes, and crocodiles. Oatland has become Savannah's own goodly ark. Where once there were halls filled with children crying in pain, now they're resonant with their chatter and laughter, delighting while instructors pass out Kool-Aid and spark their minds with a love and appreciation for nature. One has the impression that Oatland is finally awakening from such hardship, stretching her limbs and shaking off all the weight that has burdened her. Oatland Wildlife Center is truly one of the most unique places of its kind operating in our world, an educational anomaly. She is a learning center for those who wish to be witnesses to all of life's operations and dimensions, plant, animal, human, and yes, ghost.